Awesome. So, before I even get us started, something I like to highlight is we in January actually started a whole new onboarding process. Along with some other of the agency trainers, did a revamp of our orientation to be really, really intentional. So, something that we have done for new employee orientation is before people are hired, they get sent an email from our recruiters. They get sent an email to their personal emails before they have a DESE email. An email from me explaining what new employee orientation is, as new employee orientation is their first day on the job now, starting in January. Um, and it's really exciting opportunity. Our new employee orientation is really special. At least I like to think it is, but I'm kind of biased. As I like to think about it, this is one of our only opportunities where we do have a lot of intermingling of different positionalities. So we have people in our last onboarding group, we had people who were director levels, people who were from a clinical perspective, people from a housing perspective, janitorial, like all different kinds of positions. And this is where they are able to commingle. I set very intentional small groups so that I encourage cross mingling, which is really useful and can be utilized as people grow in the company and be like, oh, I remember this person, or some like forming those connections is something that's really unique about new employee orientation that we do. Another thing that is kind of unique is that all of the trainers that are part of new employee orientation go through this program called Train the Trainer. And Train the Trainer is run by me alongside our agency learning and development specialists. And all of the trainers are actually staff um, who are subject matter experts. So it can be frontline staff, it can be supervisors, it ranges in who wants to or has the capacity to train. And I'm there to support them and help them through the content. Another thing that we do just from a back end is we use this thing called the Learning Center. It's an online platform that holds all of our both online trainings, hybrid trainings, and then tracks our in-person trainings as well. So those are different ways that our new employee orientation week, or how we're kind of setting the stage up for people as they're joining the DSE company to do that. Another thing that we do which is pretty awesome, is we also provide other trainings throughout their time at DESC. It's not really what we're going to be talking about today, but we do that as well. So now I'll get into the bread and butter and the content of what we are doing. So no, this is a lot on the screen. So basically, when someone starts, their first day will be I'll do a lovely little intro, kind of be like, this is the bathrooms, kind of go over some etiquette things for how the week is going to look. Then we have this really cool opportunity where we have directors from all different departments come and are either in person or virtual. So I have it on the screen, which is pretty awesome, where they introduce themselves, talk about what they do, and then we have our executive, Daniel Malone, come and talk, and he's the one who's leading the training around our mission and history and values. We provide lunches on that Monday for everybody so they don't have to worry about it. And then something new that we started in January is we have these breakout rooms where we have HR representatives talking about, and their rotations. So we have HR talking about benefits, HR policies. We have someone talking about Paylocity, which is our internal system that we use for attendance, PTO, and how helps staff navigate that. We have someone who's in charge of our tech, who's making sure they're getting their IDs. Eventually, we will be doing also our distribution of phones and computers if it pertains to that person and that position. Then we also, me and Marissa co-lead a presentation, and we will have laptops where we're just going over like etiquette for Microsoft, because we do have different people who have different capacities. So we want to make sure everyone baseline level can know how that works. And then we move on to Tuesday, where we have this thing called DESE Now. DESE Now is again led by trainers who are staff at DSC, and all of these contents are going to be led by staff who are at DSC. DSC Now is about equity, inclusion, diversity, power, and privilege. We cover it through content, engaging activities. It's really powerful training that people get a lot out of. Then we have lunch. Then Noah Fay leads our Housing First training. Then we go into professional ethics, where we take HR has given us a bunch of different examples that have been redacted of things that have happened pertaining to policy. So we go over the etiquette of handling different things like triangulation, power dynamics, gift giving, all of those kinds of how do we navigate those issues. And we go through it in scenario based and have different people leading that. Then we have this new thing called Program Spotlight. It's like speed dating, essentially. We have 6 different administrative sections of our company that are represented throughout the room in a poster where they do like an 8-minute talk about, hey, we're facilities, we do this. Or, hey, we are finance, we do this. So it's kind of just a meet and greet opportunity to put a face to the name. And then we have a whole long day of de-escalation where we have them reviewing what trauma is, to covering the policies of how we navigate that, then also doing engaging activities to make sure that they know how to, like, what are best practices. And we do have refreshers that we do go on sites annually as well to make sure that everybody who either new staff or current staff are being supported in that specific area. Then on Thursday, we go into harm reduction. What is it? Our harm reduction tools that we utilize. Then we also do CPR and first aid through the American Heart Association. So they will get a certificate for that. And then we bring it home on Friday with health and safety, which is kind of navigating the more like cleanup, like body fluids, those kinds of situations, and how to navigate that. We have a new training about emergency response, which is led by our HR safety and response. I always forget her title, but she's there. And she leads that, and it's more about like active shooter, if there's weather issues, how to kind of navigate it from that end. Lunch. Then we have this really cool thing called a client services activity where we have 4 different sites that I give bus tickets to, and we send them off into the wilderness, more or less. We send them off to 4 different locations where I place them in a location that is different than the position they'll be in. So if they're a residential counselor, then I'll send them to one of our clinics instead so that they can kind of see the different aspects, and then they come back and present to the whole group. And that's a really fun activity. And then we do staff wellness, and then we have a little closing. And at the end of the week, I send all this content to them, PDF version. I sent them, we have an orientation manual that I worked with a work group on to make sure they had all of that as well. I also import all of their attendance for it. And meanwhile, if there is any issues that pop up, I'm the one who's basically emceeing and contacting their supervisors throughout that week if anything pops up, or if people are unable to attend or something happens around that. I think that is my spiel, so I'm going to send it off to Lindsay.